Hi, so in this lecture I'm just going to briefly go over some of the controls using your mouse and your keyboard. Left mouse button is usually used for selection. Right mouse button is often used for menu selection. And middle mouse button is used for panning. It's very basic. So left click in the perspective window, maximize the window. We're going to create some objects now. So make sure you have over here, have the create tab selected, and beneath that have the geometry selected. And click on box with the left mouse button. Go to your perspective viewport, left click anywhere and hold it, then drag until you get a nice square on the ground and let go the left and lift. And to finish it, just left click again and move away like that. Now you'll notice that it's still on box over here. So to deactivate that, just click up here on select object, boom, like that. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 more times, 3 more boxes. So if you use your middle mouse button, just scroll out a little bit so as your box gets further away like this. Yeah, that's fine, just a little turn. So go over here, select box using the left mouse button again, drag, so it's left click and hold. When you've got a nice square, let go and lift. And when you've got a nice box, just left click again. Now you've got 2 boxes. Do the same again. This is still selected, you'll notice. Box is still highlighted in blue, which means you're still editing in that mode. So do the same again. Square, lift, left click to create. And do the same again out here. Again, to deactivate creating boxes, click on the square up here to select object, boom, and you're back to default again. Now you'll notice when you click on these, you can't really tell that they're highlighted, apart from this gizmo here which highlights, and that's quite hard to see. Go over to where it says default shading, left click and go down to edge faces and select that, bink, and you'll notice all your edges highlight. So when you click on them to select them, they highlight white. Now I'm always used to having my objects dark when I model. So to change this, just go over here to the modify tab, click modify with the left mouse button, select any one of your objects, this one here, go to the color selection up here, left click and you'll get a color menu like this. Select a dark color like that one, click OK, and it will change your object. Now when you click on it, you can see the highlight is really clear. Do that with all the others if they're not already dark, because it does select a random color when you first create them. Left click, OK. Do that with that one because that's quite bright. I don't know, make it nice. Yeah, there you go. That one's not too bad. So there we go. That's all our dark colors. Right, now if you hold down Alt on your keyboard and then press the middle mouse button, your wheel basically, you will see your scene rotate like this. Just keep them both pressed down and move your viewport around and it rotates your viewport. You'll be using this a lot, so get used to that feeling. If you do it without, it just pans. If you hold down Alt, it rotates. Right, now also down here, remember I said zoom extents is going to become very important. If you click that, you zoom into all the objects in your scene. If you select one and your box here is zoom extents selected, it will zoom into the selected object. That is really important. You'll be using that a lot too. If yours isn't solid like this, press and hold and you'll see the 2 options here. Select the dark blue one and let go. and it will stay like that. So then no matter which one we select, every time we click on that, it will go to the one that's selected. Like that. And like that. If I click on an object and hold down Alt and press my middle mouse button again and rotate, you'll see something else happening here. So this is rotating around the selected object, and this is really important too. If you go over here and see orbit selected, that's basically what it's doing. If that's not selected, if it's not solid blue, just like the one above, press and hold, find it on the little menu here and select it. Now the selection, the orbit will rotate around the selected object. So I select that one over here. It'll orbit around that. Even if I move it off to the side, it'll still orbit around the selected object. Over to that side. And it just feels natural. You'll find that out as you progress. If you select all your objects, it will rotate around all the selected ones. Same again, it will select around the two that's selected. And that is the core of the sort of control, really. All these buttons here are selected using left mouse click. Same with all these down here. And I'll show you more as we progress through the course. But with this lecture, I've also included a keyboard shortcut document. So download that, print it out, and put it next to your keyboard for the foreseeable till you get the hang of it. It's really useful to have. The ones on the list are the most common ones that I use. If you want to use more, you can, that's fine. But those are the most common ones. So these are the common keys that I press most, if you like, from on the keyboard. We've been through these already, the viewport keys. I'll show you something about back view in a moment, because I don't think that one's chosen for you at the start, and I think I've done that without actually showing you how to do it, so I'll cover that in a second. All these we've done. Camera view, see, if you've got a camera in the scene, which we'll go through but you won't have at the start, and you press C, it goes to your camera view. Editor toggle, we'll cover that later. Maximize viewport, now that's quite handy, I'll show you that now. It's basically the same as this, but on a key. So Alt and W, doing like that. Exactly the same, it just saves you going down here to click it. Orbit view we've covered. That's just another way of selecting this orbiter down here. Alt and middle mouse button, that's the orbit view mode without selecting that, and it's really useful because you'll be using that all the time. Pan view, Control plus P, but again hold the middle mouse button without pressing Alt and you will just pan anyway. But these are just extra or different ways of doing the same things. Redo scene and undo scene operation, so if you make a mistake just press Ctrl Z and undo it, or if you want to redo one that you've undone, just press Ctrl Y. If you want a quick render of your scene, just Shift Q, and obviously Control S. You'll be pressing that constantly. Control S, Control S as you work over and over. Keep pressing Control S, and I'll keep saying it to you as we go forward. Control S, Control S, and I'll try and display it on the screen every time I do it, so that you can see how common and how often I use it. Control A, select all, that's quite useful. If you want to select all the objects in your scene and move a whole lot, then you can do that using Control A. And there's a few more there. Snaps toggle, useful. Show statistics, I'll show you that. when we get started. Actually, I won't show you that now. I'll show you that when we get started. But anyway, download this document. It's yours. Keep it printed. Keep it next to you. Keep glancing at it from time to time if you just want to be reminded of what keys do what. Okay, so I'm going to show you now this control, how to assign K to the back view. So if you move that out of the way, if you go to Customize User Interface, click on that, and you'll get this big old menu. So you can see Group Main UI, which should be already selected. If you go to Category and go down to, scroll all the way down to the bottom to Views, boom, like that. Down here, down the list, you'll see Back View. And you can see I've already got K assigned to it. But if you click on that, so it highlights, go up here into Hotkey, type K, and then click on Assign. I mean, mine's already done, but if you do that, you should see K appear there. And that's it. You don't have to save it. It's just done. Just close it, and K will be your back view. T for the top, and we've been through all these already. P, back to perspective. Alt, middle mouse to rotate the view. You can see now it's actually gone to wireframe mode, but all you have to do is go up and click on wire, go to default shading, and you'll get it back. And there we have it. That's the basic controls for now. And like I said, I'll be covering more as we do more models. So I'll see you in the next lecture.